Another year, another stack of Oscar nominees for me to work through. Some blew my mind, some were solid, and at least one made me question why I even have this channel in the first place. So let's break down every single 2025 Oscar nominated film, ranked from best to worst. Let's go. Starting at number 1, we've got Dune Part 2. Dune Part 2 is nominated for Best Picture, Best Cinematography, Best Production Design, Best Sound, and Best Visual Effects. I predict it will win Best Sound and Best Visual Effects. Denis Villeneuve delivers a sci-fi epic for the ages. If Dune was an awe-inspiring setup, Part 2 is the thunderous operatic payoff. Bigger, darker, and even more emotionally intense. Timothée Chalamet fully steps into Paul Atreides' transformation, navigating his descent into messianic power with chilling conviction. Zendaya's Shani is given far more weight, serving as both a love interest and a moral compass as Paul's path veers dangerously towards tyranny. Austin Butler is unrecognizable as Feud Ratha, a sadistic force of nature who embodies the film's looming sense of doom. Villeneuve's direction is staggering, blending breathtaking practical effects with immersive world building that feels grand yet deeply intimate. Every frame is meticulously composed, from the haunting stills of Arrakis Desert to the explosive large-scale battles that put modern blockbusters to shame. Dune Part 2 isn't just a sci-fi film. It's mythic storytelling at its most powerful, a spectacle that never loses sight of its human core. Simply put, it's the new gold standard for blockbuster filmmaking. A Real Pain is nominated for Best Supporting Actor and Best Original Screenplay. I predict it will win Best Supporting Actor. Jesse Eisenberg's sophomore film cements him as one of the most exciting new voices in American indie filmmaking. A Real Pain is a sharp, melancholic, and deeply funny exploration of grief, generational trauma, and the complicated bonds of family. The film's road trip structure allows Eisenberg, as the neurotic, tightly wound David, and Kieran Culkin, as the chaotic, self-destructive Benji, to bounce off each other in ways that are both hilarious and heartbreaking. Their clashing personalities create an emotional core that feels painfully real, amplified by the film's quiet yet effective meditation on Jewish identity and historical memory. Eisenberg balances humor and tragedy with remarkable finesse, creating a film that lingers long after it ends. It's a road trip movie, but one where the journey is internal, mapping the distance between who we are and who we want to be. Anora is nominated for Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actress, Best Supporting Actor, and Best Original Screenplay. I predict it will win Best Picture, Best Director, and Best Original Screenplay. Sean Baker has once again proved himself to be one of the most vital filmmakers working today. Anora is a raw, electric, and wildly unpredictable film that feels both deeply personal and socially expansive. Mikey Madsen delivers a career-defining performance as Anora, or Ani, a Brooklyn stripper who gets swept away into a whirlwind marriage to the son of a Russian oligarch. What starts out as a twisted Cinderella story quickly spirals into something darker, funnier, and more emotionally resonant than expected. Baker's signature style gives the film an immediate, lived-in texture, but what sets Anora apart is how it shifts gears with masterful precision, moving from comedy to thriller to tragedy without ever losing its emotional grip. Beneath its fast-paced, often outrageous plot lies a sharp critique of power, class, and the way capitalism commodifies intimacy. Anora is exhilarating, heartbreaking, and utterly unmissable. A film that captures the chaos of modern life with relentless energy and brutal honesty. The Substance is nominated for Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actress, Best Original Screenplay, and Best Hair and Makeup Styling. I predict it will win Best Actress and Best Makeup and Hairstyling. Coralie Farge delivers a body horror film that is equal parts grotesque and exhilarating, cementing her as one of the most daring directors in modern genre cinema. The Substance takes the anxieties of aging, beauty standards, and self-worth and distorts them into something nightmarishly literal, with a premise that feels like Black Swan meets The Fly. The film follows Demi Moore in a fearless, career-best performance as a woman who clones a younger, better version of herself, played by Margaret Qualley, only to face increasingly horrific consequences. Farge leans into extreme body horror with unflinching brutality, using practical effects that make every transformation viscerally unsettling. But beneath the gore and the neon-drenched madness lies a sharp critique of celebrity culture and the impossible expectations placed on women. It's not an easy watch, but it's a masterpiece of controlled chaos. Intelligent, shocking, and impossible to look away from. Wicked is nominated for Best Picture, Best Actress, Best Supporting Actress, Best Editing, Best Production Design, Best Costume Design, and Best Hair and Makeup and Hairstyling, Best Sound, and Best Original Score, and Best Visual Effects. Whew! Sorry. I predict it will win Best Production Design and Best Costume Design. John M. Chu had an impossible task, translating one of Broadway's most beloved musicals into a film that satisfied die-hard fans while reaching new audiences. Against all odds, he mostly pulls it off. Wicked is grand, vibrant, and bursting with spectacle, but it's at its best in the moments where it slows down to let the emotional core breathe. Cynthia Erivo delivers an astonishing performance as Elphaba, capturing her vulnerability and growing power with depth and precision. Ariana Grande surprises as Glinda, bringing charm and emotional nuance that elevate her beyond just a pop star casting choice. The production design is stunning, weaving together classic fantasy elements with a heightened, dreamlike aesthetic that makes Oz feel fresh yet familiar. While the film occasionally struggles with pacing, a two-part adaptation comes with its own narrative challenges. It sticks to landing where it matters most, delivering soaring musical numbers and a poignant, character-driven story about identity, friendship, and the price of ambition. It's wicked on a cinematic scale, and that's something to celebrate. Nickel Boys is nominated for Best Picture and Best Adapted Screenplay. Ramel Ross brings his poetic, visually striking style to Nickel Boys, adapting Colson Whitehead's searing novel about friendship and survival in a brutal reform school. The film doesn't shy away from the harrowing realities of systemic abuse, yet it finds moments of tenderness in the bond between its two young leads. Ross's film sensibilities lend a raw, immersive quality to the storytelling, making the emotional weight feel all the more devastating. It's a difficult watch, but an essential one, cementing Ross as a filmmaker unafraid to confront America's painful history. The Brutalist is nominated for Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actor, Best Supporting Actress, Best Supporting Actor, Best Original Screenplay, Best Cinematography, Best Editing, Best Production Design, and Best Original Score. I predict it will win Best Actor, Best Cinematography, and Best Original Score. A dark, immersive dive into the post-war life of visionary architect Laszlo Toth, The Brutalist paints a grim picture of the price one pays for success and legacy. Courbet's direction and the period detail are exceptional, and the performances, particularly Adrian Brody, bring the internal struggles of Laszlo to life. The film is visually arresting and grounded in historical context, but it occasionally struggles to balance its complex themes with its pacing. The emotional resonance is strong, but the film's slow burn may alienate some viewers, especially those hoping for more action, speed, or quicker revelations. No Other Land is my prediction and a sole nomination in the category of Best Documentary Feature. A raw and urgent documentary, No Other Land offers an unfiltered look at the destruction of Muzaffar Yatta and the unlikely bond between a Palestinian activist and Israeli journalist. Shot over several years by those directly involved, the film rejects conventional detachment, instead immersing the viewer in the personal stakes of its subjects. The footage is often harrowing, yet the film finds power in moments of solidarity and defiance. In a landscape of distant, often sanitized news coverage, No Other Land stands as a vital, first-hand document of resistance and resilience. The Man Who Could Not Remain Silent is nominated for Best Live-Action Short, and I predict it will win its category. A harrowing and deeply human short, The Man Who Could Not Remain Silent tells the story of courage in the face of unspeakable atrocity. The film crafts a taut, restrained narrative that unfolds with a sense of quiet inevitability, making its moral questions hit even harder. The lead performance by Tomo Busov is quietly powerful, conveying both fear and unshakable conviction. While the film's brevity limits how much it can explore its historical context, the impact is undeniable, a stark reminder of the cost of silence and the power of a single voice. Conclave is nominated for Best Picture, Best Actor, Best Supporting Actress, Best Adapted Screenplay, Best Editing, Best Production Design, Best Costume Design, and Best Original Score. I predict it will win Best Adapted Screenplay and Best Editing. A tense, high-stakes drama set in the Vatican, Conclave offers a glimpse in the secretive world of electing a new pope, centered around Cardinal Lawrence's complex task of navigating power plays and hidden conspiracies. Berger's tight direction and the film's claustrophobic atmosphere enhances the tension, as the cardinals' interaction become a microcosm of politics and religion. While the performances are strong, especially in the portrayal of internal conflicts, the film falters by becoming bogged down in procedural aspects. Nonetheless, it remains a powerful commentary on power, faith, and the fragile nature of institutions. Sing Sing is nominated for Best Actor, Best Adapted Screenplay, and Best Original Song. Greg Quitter's Sing Sing is a deeply humane and moving film about the redemptive power of art. Featuring real, formerly incarcerated actors alongside an incredible Coleman Domingo, the film never falls into sentimentality, instead letting the performances and the documentary-like direction build an authentic emotional core. The way the prison theater program allowed these men to reclaim their voices and agency is inspiring, and Greg captures their journey with honesty and respect. It's a film that makes you rethink the meaning of freedom and purpose, proving it's the transformative impact of storytelling. I'm Still Here is nominated for Best Picture, Best Actress, and Best International Feature. I predict it will win Best International Feature. Walter Salles delivers a haunting and deeply personal historical drama with I'm Still Here. The film tells the heartbreaking story of the Paiva family, blending archival footage with an intimate, character-driven narrative that highlights the resilience of those who resisted Brazil's military dictatorship. Salles' direction is quietly powerful, allowing Inês Paiva's strength and determination to shine. It's a film that refuses to let history be forgotten, capturing both the immense loss and the unwavering hope that fuels resistance against oppression. A Different Man is nominated for Best Makeup and Hairstyling. A deeply unsettling exploration of identity and the lengths to which one will go to reclaim their sense of self, A Different Man is both provocative and haunting. The film's concept of facial transformation as a means of self-discovery is original, but it's the psychological unraveling of its protagonist, Edward, that takes center stage. Schmeiberg's direction is sharp and evocative, making the audience feel every twist and turn of Edward's self-destructive path. While the film raises important questions about beauty, identity, and the consequences of transformation, its pacing can feel uneven, and the journey can at times be alienating. Better Man is nominated for Best Visual Effects. A compelling look at Robbie Williams' tumultuous rise to fame, Better Man grapples with the complexities of success and the darker side of celebrity. The film captures the chaotic beauty of fame and the toll it takes on the subject, with a standout performance from Robbie Williams as Robbie Williams. Gracie's direction enhances the emotional punch, navigating Robbie's journey through personal struggles, boy band beginnings, and the challenge of staying true to himself amidst fame. While emotionally rich, the narrative at times feels a bit too safe, missing the raw edge it aims to evoke. Nonetheless, it's a portrait of a man who conquered the world, only to find himself lost in it. Also, it's about a monkey. Magic Candies is nominated for Best Animated Short. With a premise both whimsical and deeply affecting, Magic Candies delivers an imaginative exploration of loneliness, empathy, and self-discovery. The film's delicate animation brings Dong Dong's world to life, using a soft, painterly style that enhances its warmth and emotional depth. As he experiences the hidden thoughts of those around him, the story unfolds with moments of gentle humor and quiet melancholy. Though it occasionally leans into sentimentality, Magic Candies remains a beautifully crafted, emotionally resonant short that lingers long after the credits roll. Flow is nominated for Best Animated Feature and Best International Feature. An innovative and visually striking animated film, Flow tells the story of a displaced cat navigating a transformed world after a great flood. Zilbados creates a deeply immersive environment where the character's journey is both an emotional and philosophical one. The film is stunning to look at, with its serene yet surreal landscapes evoking a sense of loneliness and hope. However, while the visuals are its strength, the storytelling sometimes feels too abstract, leaving the audience to interpret the narrative in ways that may not resonate with all viewers. Flow is undeniably beautiful, but it's a film that requires a certain patience and openness to its meditative style. Instruments of a Beating Heart is nominated for Best Documentary Short. Emma Ryan Yamazaki's Instruments for a Beating Heart is a small but deeply moving documentary about childhood, perseverance, and the magic of music. Following a first grader's struggle to master the big drum in Ode to Joy, the film beautifully captures both the individual and collective journey of young students learning to work together. With a gentle yet immersive approach, Yamazaki finds universal themes in an intimate setting. The film's only drawback is that it leaves you wanting more. Its 30-minute runtime feels too brief for the rich emotion it stirs. A Complete Unknown is nominated for Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actor, Best Supporting Actress, Best Supporting Actor, Best Adapted Screenplay, Best Costume Design, and Best Sound. James Mangold's A Complete Unknown isn't a conventional biopic. It's a snapshot of a pivotal moment in Bob Dylan's life, capturing his transition from folk prodigy to cultural icon. Timothée Chalamet embodies Dylan's restless energy with a performance that leans more on attitude than imitation, while the film's period detail immerses you in the raw, electric atmosphere of 1960s Greenwich Village. Mangold balances reverence with a kinetic, almost documentary-like approach, though some moments feel more like myth-making than genuine insight. Still, as a portrait of an artist on the verge of transformation, it's a compelling ride. Sugarcane is nominated for Best Documentary Feature. An urgent and devastating documentary, Sugarcane investigates the horrors of Canada's residential schools with unflinching honesty. Directors Emily Cassie and Julian Brave Noisecount weave together survivor testimonies, archival footage, and investigative reporting to expose a long-buried history of abuse, while also highlighting the resilience of Indigenous communities seeking justice. The film is structured with precision, balancing the weight of its revelations with moments of hope and cultural reclamation. Though its subject matter is emotionally heavy, Sugarcane is essential viewing, both as an exposé and a call to action. The Wild Robot is nominated for Best Sound, Best Original Score, and Best Animated Feature. I predict it will win Best Animated Feature. Chris Sanders creates a beautifully animated, emotionally rich adaptation of Peter Brown's novel. The Wild Robot is a contemplative, almost meditative story of survival, self-discovery, and the intersection of nature and technology. The relationship between Roz and the island's animals is delicately developed, with stunning animation that brings both the landscapes and its creatures to life. While the pacing is slower than typical animated fare, its introspective tone makes it stand out. A quietly powerful film that lingers in the mind long after the credits roll. Alien Romulus is nominated for Best Visual Effects. Alien Romulus injects fresh terror into the Alien franchise, serving as a claustrophobic nightmare that leans into the franchise's horror roots. The film strips away the grandiose mythology of other entries, returning to a simple yet brutally effective premise: young colonists trapped with an unrelenting, perfect organism. The production design and practical effects are stunning, drenched in shadows and industrial grime, while the tension builds with ruthless efficiency. Though it doesn't reinvent the Alien formula, Romulus delivers exactly what fans crave: pure, relentless sci-fi horror. Memoir of a Snail is nominated for Best Animated Feature. Adam Elliott returns with another bittersweet stop-motion tale, and Memoir of a Snail is as quirky and melancholic as one would expect. The film's protagonist, a socially awkward woman struggling with loss and loneliness, finds humor and warmth in the smallest of moments. Elliott's distinct visual style and wry narration give the film its signature charm, though its episodic nature occasionally makes it feel meandering. Still, Memoirs of a Snail is a deeply human story about resilience, self-acceptance, and the beauty found in life's little oddities. Maria is nominated for Best Cinematography. Pablo Larraín's Maria is an intimate, haunting character study of Maria Callas in her final years. Much like Spencer and Jackie, Larraín eschews the traditional biopic structure in favor of an impressionistic, almost dreamlike approach. Angelina Jolie's performance is mesmerizing, quietly vulnerable yet commanding, capturing both Callas's artistry and her isolation. The film's restrained storytelling won't satisfy those looking for a conventional rise and fall narrative, but as a meditation on legacy, loneliness, and the weight of a life lived in the public eye, Maria is deeply affecting. Incident is nominated for Best Documentary Short. Bill Morrison's Incident is nominated for Best Documentary Short. Bill Morrison's Incident is a chilling, formerly inventive documentary that pieces together a tragic event with stark clarity. By utilizing real surveillance and police body cam footage, Morrison constructs a damning portrait of systemic failure, where bureaucracy and power protect those in uniform while justice remains elusive. The film's lack of narration forces the viewer to confront the raw, unfiltered reality of the incident, making for an unsettling but necessary watch. While its experimental structure may feel clinical at times, Incident is undeniably powerful in its condemnation of state violence. The Seed of the Sacred Fig is nominated for Best International Feature. A slow-burning, politically charged thriller, The Seed of the Sacred Fig deftly balances personal paranoia with societal collapse. Mohammad Ralusif crafts a tense, claustrophobic atmosphere as a government judge, entrenched in the authoritarian worldview, begins to see enemies within his own home. The film's critique of state oppression is razor sharp, delivering through intimate domestic conflict rather than broad political statements. Though its deliberate pacing and restrained style demand patience, The Seed of the Sacred Fig is an urgent, quietly devastating look at power, fear, and familial unraveling. Beautiful Men is nominated for Best Animated Short. A quirky and unexpectedly poignant animated short, Beautiful Men followed three balding brothers on a trip to Istanbul for hair transplants. What could have been purely a comedic premise instead delved into the themes of insecurity, sibling rivalry, and the absurdity of beauty standards. The film balanced humor with melancholy, making the brothers' dynamics feel authentic. The animation style was unique, adding to the film's charm. While it didn't reinvent the wheel, it was a memorable, emotionally resonant short that deserved this nomination. The Girl with the Needle is nominated for Best International Feature. A harrowing and emotionally complex period drama, The Girl with the Needle tackles themes of survival, power, and moral compromise with a sharp, unflinching eye. Set in post-World War I Copenhagen, the film follows a young woman forced into the shadows of society, only to find herself entangled in an underground adoption scheme. The film's haunting cinematography and restrained performances create an atmosphere of quiet dread, punctuated by the moments of raw vulnerability. While its slow-burn storytelling may test some viewers' patience, its devastating climax ensures it will not easily be forgotten. Nosferatu is nominated for Best Cinematography, Best Production Design, Best Costume Design, and Best Hair and Makeup Styling. Robert Eggers' long-awaited Nosferatu is stunningly crafted, deeply atmospheric take on the classic vampire tale. From its stark cinematography to its eerie, almost tactile production design, the film oozes gothic horror in every frame. Bill Skarsgård delivers a chilling performance as the titular monster, balancing menace and sorrow in a way that makes him feel like more than just a villain. The film's slow burn pacing and meticulous attention to historical detail may not be for all horror fans, but for those willing to sink into its nightmarish world, Nosferatu is a hypnotic, haunting experience. Yuck is nominated for Best Animated Short. Yuck is a delightful animated short that takes a humorous yet heartfelt approach to childhood discovery. The film's clever premise, following a boy who finds kissing gross until he realizes he wants to try it himself, captures the awkwardness of growing up with wit and charm. The animation is vibrant and the storytelling is sharp, making it an enjoyable watch. While it doesn't carry the same emotional weight as some of the other nominees in its category, its relatability and comedic timing make it a worthy contender in the animated short category itself. Wallace and Gromit: Vengeance Most Foul is nominated for Best Animated Feature. Aardman's return to Wallace and Gromit is a delightful blend of nostalgia and fresh, inventive storytelling. Vengeance Most Foul revives classic slapstick humor with intricate stop-motion animation, while adding a suspenseful, almost noir-like mystery. The film's villain, a vengeful figure from Wallace's past, injects a surprising level of intrigue, and Gromit once again proves himself to be the true hero of the duo. While it may not reach the iconic status of The Curse of the Were-Rabbit, it's a charming, lovely crafted adventure that reaffirms why Wallace and Gromit remain animation legends. In the Shadow of the Cypress is nominated for Best Animated Short. This quiet yet emotionally resonant animated short explores trauma, isolation, and the fragile bonds between parent and child. In the Shadow of the Cypress tells a simple story with heavy emotional weight, following a PTSD-stricken former captain struggling to connect with his daughter. The animation, muted, almost painterly, beautifully complements the film's somber tone. While it does occasionally feel like it could have dug deeper into its themes, the film's understated storytelling and strong emotional beats make it a moving experience. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is nominated for Best Visual Effects. Wes Ball's Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes had the difficult task of following up Matt Reeves' exceptional trilogy while forging a new path. Visually, the film is breathtaking, with impressive motion capture work and immersive world building. The story, however, is more of a mixed bag. The young protagonist, Noah, is compelling, but the villainous ape overlord lacks the complexity of past antagonists in the franchise. The film plays with fascinating themes of power and history, but ultimately doesn't push the narrative in bold new directions. While it doesn't reach the heights of its predecessor, it's still a solid entry that keeps the ape saga moving forward. Inside Out 2 is nominated for Best Animated Feature. Pixar's sequel to Inside Out had a tough act to follow, and while it doesn't quite reach the emotional heights of the original, it's a worthy continuation of Riley's journey. The introduction of new emotions, particularly anxiety, add fresh layers to the story, capturing the turbulence of adolescence with humor and insight. The animation is predictably stunning, and the voice cast, including returning favorites and new additions, deliver strong performances. However, the film occasionally feels a bit overstuffed, with some new emotions getting less development than they deserve. Still, Inside Out 2 is an engaging, heartfelt sequel that will resonate with audiences of all ages. The Apprentice is nominated in Best Actor and Best Supporting Actor. Ali Abbasi's The Apprentice is less of a biopic and more of a psychological horror story, depicting the former years of Donald Trump under the mentorship of Roy Cohn. Sebastian Stan delivers a chillingly precise performance as Trump, capturing his mannerisms without slipping into parody. Jeremy Strong as Cohen is equally magnetic, portraying him as both a kingmaker and a manipulative force of destruction. The film doesn't pull punches in its depiction of corruption, ambition, and the moral decay of power. While some may find its approach overly stylized or its narrative choices too pointed, The Apprentice remains a compelling, unsettling character study. Wander to Wonder is nominated for Best Animated Short, and I predict it will win this category. A surreal and visually inventive animated short, Wander to Wonder is an eerie yet touching meditation on nostalgia, grief, and obsolescence. The story of long-forgotten children's television characters left behind after their creator's death is both unsettling and deeply melancholic. The animation style is rich with texture, evoking the charm of old stop-motion while leaning into its uncanny qualities. While the film's ambiguous storytelling might leave some viewers perplexed, its haunting atmosphere and thematic depth make it a standout in the animated category. Black Box Diaries is nominated for Best Documentary Feature. Shiori Ito's Black Box Diaries is an unflinching and deeply personal documentary that transforms one woman's painful past into a searing critique of an entire system. Ito's bravery in not only revisiting her trauma, but also exposing the institutional and cultural barriers that enable sexual violence makes this film essential viewing. The documentary's journalistic approach, meticulously structured and emotionally raw, ensure that every revelation lands with weight. While it can be difficult to watch, Black Box Diaries is a crucial and cathartic act of resistance. I'm Not a Robot is nominated for Best Live Action Short. It takes a seemingly absurd premise, a woman questioning her own humanity after failing a CAPTCHA test, and turns it into an existentially rich and surprisingly poignant short. The film's dry humor pairs well with its deeper themes about identity and self-worth in an increasingly digital world. The lead performance is both deadpan and deeply expressive, perfectly capturing the spiraling anxiety of the protagonist. While the film leans heavily on its central gimmick, it ultimately sticks the landing with a thought-provoking finale that lingers. Anja is nominated for Best Live-Action Short. Short films have the power to tell a deeply personal and emotionally impactful story, and Anja succeeds in this regard. Centered on a 9-year-old girl working in a sweatshop, the film doesn't shy away from the harsh realities of child labor. The performances, particularly from this young lead, feel authentic and heartbreaking. The moral dilemma at the heart of the story, choosing between education and immediate survival, adds layers of complexity. While the film's brevity means some of its themes could have been explored further, it's a haunting and necessary watch that lingers long after its final frame. Ah Lien is nominated for Best Live-Action Short. Ah Lien is a tense, sharply executed short that turns the high stakes of a green card interview into a nerve-wracking thriller. The film masterfully captures the anxiety of navigating an immigration system where one misstep could mean disaster. The lead performances ground the tension in raw human emotion, making the stakes feel personal rather than procedural. While the film's brevity leaves some aspects of the couple's relationship underdeveloped, its tightly wound storytelling and sharp social commentary make it a standout in its live-action short category. September 5 is nominated for Best Original Screenplay. Depicting the Munich Olympics hostage crisis from the perspective of an American sports broadcasting crew, September 5 offers a unique angle on one of history's most tragic events. The film captures the rising tension and helplessness of those watching the crisis unfold in real time, blending archival footage with dramatized scenes. While it effectively conveys the chaos and horror of the event, it's focused on the journalists rather than the hostages or political forces involved, might feel like a missed opportunity for some viewers. Still, the film was an engrossing, unsettling look at how history is shaped by those who document it. Now, the bottom 10. In number 41, The Only Girl in the Orchestra. The Only Girl in the Orchestra is nominated for Best Documentary Short. It's a quiet but poignant documentary that highlights Orrin O'Brien's groundbreaking journey as the first female musician in the New York Philharmonic. The film resists sensationalism, much like its subject, instead presenting a meditative reflection on O'Brien's career and the institutional barriers she quietly broke. While the documentary excels in intimate interviews and archival footage, its understated approach may leave some viewers wanting a deeper exploration of the systemic struggle she faced. Still, as a portrait of an artist who never sought the spotlight but changed history nonetheless, it's a touching and well-crafted piece. Soundtrack to a Coup d'etat is nominated for Best Documentary Feature. An ambitious and politically charged documentary, Soundtrack to a Coup d'etat examined the intersection of jazz and global politics. The film focused on the CIA-backed coup in the Congo and how American jazz musicians were used as cultural ambassadors was fascinating. The archival footage was well curated, and the connections between decolonialization, music, and Cold War politics were compelling. However, the documentary structure felt a little bit dense. It does run about 2.5 hours, which makes it more of an intellectual exercise than an emotional experience. The subject matter was vital and interesting, but the storytelling could have been just a little bit more engaging. Porcelain War is nominated for Best Documentary Feature. A visually striking and deeply personal documentary, Porcelain War captures the resilience of Ukrainian artists in the face of war. The film's intimate approach, focusing on individuals who chose to stay and fight, made for powerful storytelling. The contrast between destruction and the artist's attempt to create beauty gave the film an emotional core that resonated. However, at times the pacing dragged, making the film feel repetitive. While undeniably moving, it could have been even more impactful with just a bit of a tighter edit. Gladiator 2 is nominated for Best Costume Design. This sequel had massive shoes to fill, and while it delivered on spectacle, it never quite recreated the magic of the original. Gladiator 2 excelled in visual grandeur. Ridley Scott knows how to craft epic battles, but its narrative felt too derivative. Paul Mescal gave a committed performance as Lucius, but the script failed to give him the same depth as Maximus. The Emperors were made for suitably despicable villains, yet their arcs were predictable. While entertaining, the film ultimately leaned too heavily on nostalgia without forging its own identity. Elton John Never Too Late is nominated for Best Original Song. The documentary attempted to show a different side of Elton John, but feels so incredibly unnecessary. While the storytelling was interesting, the film lacked any impact for me and had no creative storytelling that made its predecessor, Rocket Man, feel so special. Unlike Rocket Man, which embraced musical surrealism, this documentary appears more conventional and less engaging. It's not bad by any means. There are some moving moments, particularly as it explores Elton's struggles with addiction and fame, but ultimately feels like a retread of stories we've already heard and we already know. Death by Numbers is nominated for Best Documentary Short. Wow! One of the 2 short films this year with a difficult concept but lackluster execution. The film follows Samantha Fuentes, the survivor of a high school shooting, as she prepares to confront her attacker years later. The premise is undeniably gripping, but the film's emotional depth never quite matched its ambitions. The cinematography had some striking moments, especially for a documentary, but the way the story moved felt really predictable, and the script struggled to balance Sam's trauma with the elements of a basic, boring documentary. There was a great film in here somewhere, but it was never fully materialized. The Last Ranger is nominated for Best Live Action Short. The Last Ranger had an intriguing premise, a blend of environmental thriller and coming-of-age drama, but ultimately felt underdeveloped. The setting, a game reserve plagued by poachers, provided stunning visuals, and the film effectively conveyed the urgency of conservation efforts. However, the characters never quite felt fully realized. The mentor-student dynamic between Letha and the Ranger had potential, but the film rushed its emotional beats, making their bond feel undercooked. The action sequences were serviceable, but the third act twist felt more forced than revelatory. The 688 is nominated for Best Original Song. A historical drama about an all-black female battalion in World War II, the 688 had an important story to tell. Unfortunately, it relied too heavily on formulaic storytelling, never quite elevating beyond its potential. Tyler Perry's direction played it way too safe, making it feel more like a standard historical drama than an immersive, powerful experience. There were great performances, but the story itself is undeniably compelling. It never reached the heights it could have. I Am Ready Warden is nominated for Best Documentary Short, and I predict it will win this category. This one had potential, but also ultimately fell flat. It aimed for tug at your heartstrings, but just felt sluggish and uninspired. The premise, a short documentary set in prison, had so much promise, yet the execution was uneven. The film tried to explore deep themes of redemption, religion, and the morality of the death penalty, but its pacing dragged, and it never fully committed to its emotional core. The son's final forgiveness of John Henry Ramirez carried some weight, but the overall narrative lacked the nuance it needed to make its message resonate. And now, in 50 out of 50, the lowest ranked film on my list is one you probably have guessed at this point. Emilia Perez is nominated for Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actress, Best Supporting Actress, Best Adapted Screenplay, Best Cinematography, Best Editing, Best Hair and Makeup Styling, Best Sound Design, Best Original Score, Best Original Song again, and Best International Feature. I predict it will win Best Supporting Actress and Best Original Song for El Mal. Emilia Perez. I went in hoping for a bold crime drama, and instead I got this. A misfire on nearly every level, with tonal whiplash and a messy script that fumbled every emotional beat. The film tried to blend musical elements with its crime narrative, but fell apart tonally. The shift from gritty crime thriller to over-the-top musical numbers never quite gelled. And while some of the performances were committed, the film's direction felt unsure of itself. It wanted to be audacious and different, but ended up being an incoherent, frustrating, and insensitive film. Also, there's a lot going on with Carla Sofia Gaston right now that I'd prefer not to talk about. And that is my ranking of all 50 Best Picture films. I cannot believe that I watched every Oscar-nominated film this year. It is a crazy, crazy feat that I was able to do this. I am so incredibly proud of myself, and I'm so incredibly proud that I was able to make this video. I love making videos like this, and these are the videos I would love to continue to make. If you're at all interested, my other most recent video is a quick 5-minute review on The Monkey. You can watch it while you're doing dishes. So if you would like to go on my channel and see that video after this one, feel free to. But thank you so much for sticking with me and watching this entire video. I appreciate it. And suggest my channel to a friend. Really just trying to grow and continue to make videos like this. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.